If you go on to enjoy the video, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing. It does really help me out a lot. And if you're into Funko Pops, I've just started a brand new channel dedicated to them. The link for that can be found in the description. And beat the random lottery that is FIFA points by buying the coins direct from u7buy.com. Use code TVM at checkout for a 5% discount, or if you're a new customer, get 8% discount. The link is down below. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to a brand new video. 2nd of 3rd. Is that the way I should say it? Maybe I should start the video again. Nah, I'll keep rolling. It's the 2nd of the 3rd icon that they've dropped. This just doesn't sound right in my head. 2 of 3? That'll do. 91, Claude Makelele, 3-star, 3-star. High defensive work rate, low attacking. You do not see that very often on players that aren't centre-backs. And even then, that is a rare thing to find. So, you know full well he wants to defend. He has absolutely no desire to go forward whatsoever. 5'9". Average body type, decent acceleration and sprint speed, 84, 81. Can't shoot for love nor money, but then with a low attacking work rate, he is never going to be in a position to... Actually, that's a lie. I think I did score at least 1 goal with him. He was actually told in my team, thinking about it, I mean, only now realising this, he was told to get forward, and he kept sort of pushing to go forward, and then the natural low attacking work rate would stop, and then he would stop his run. But sometimes you just got to force them forward, and if there's a gap, run into it and play them in. And I wasn't trying to force Makelele to score goals or to get into the final third in any way. It was just something that sort of naturally happened in the position that I was playing him in. 5 at the back, 5-3-2 in general. He wasn't the main CDM. I can't remember. We'll have a look in a second who was in the team, but I can't remember who was my main CDM. I think it might have been Guendouzi. It was. Guendouzi was my main CDM, and then Makelele and Curtis Jones were the two sort of, you know, box-to-box-esque players. Makelele did stay back for the most part, though, until I told him to go forward. He has fantastic stats across the board. This is a very underrated player and card. I never ever see this guy in anyone's team. I'm sure that'll change over time now that he has an SBC that, okay, is a little bit on the expensive side, but at the same time, the card should be expensive for how good it actually is. He is very underrated in real life as well. Not many people talk about him at his time at Chelsea or Real Madrid or anything like that, really. Only the fans of the club will claim that he is a fantastic player because no one else... It's sort of one of those players that went under the radar. But if you go back and watch him, you can see how good he actually was. And it's the same for FIFA as well. Not many people will want to pay the amount of money that he costs to have a guy in their team that they're not going to notice he's there half the time. If you are a content creator, you have the opportunity to watch back your gameplay, and you notice exactly how much he does for you. I had so many clips here that I had to stop it. There was a point where I had to say, right, well, enough's enough. I've got to cut this off, because otherwise we can... Honestly, I had enough clips in the... 6 games that I played? Normally I've got just enough to make 1 video, and even then sometimes I'm stretching it, even though I've enjoyed the player or the players played well. But when it comes to Makelele, and Ian Wright for that matter as well, the review for him is already out if you want to go check it out. When it comes to Makelele, I had so many that I could probably do 2.5 to 3 reviews of him. I'm be tempted, you know, if anyone wants to see me re-review him tomorrow, let me... I'm joking. Alright, so... Is he any good? Obviously, I've bigged him up a little bit. Yeah, he's just a little bit good. And I'm going to compare him to a player that I think everyone will compare him to, because he's very much like him in game. But in my opinion, and this is a bold statement because the player I'm comparing him to is actually one of my favourites in this FIFA, and he was my favourite in last FIFA. And I am talking, of course I'm talking, about Kante. Kante in FIFA for the last 2, maybe even 3 FIFAs, has been the best CDM bar none. You can argue that Hullet or Vieira or whatever, all you want, but not many people get to play with those cards. Everyone will have the opportunity to play with Kante at some point during FIFA. And even now, if you go and pick up the base card of Kante, he will be one of the best CDMs you can use in-game, regardless of the amount of money that you've spent on him. I have the first inform, I think, and you just can't move him out of the team. He's that good. Makelele, though, is one of those cards that will quite easily rival Kante. And he does everything Kante does, and maybe just a little bit better. On paper, if you compare the two, Makelele just beats him all ends up. He is a better player. But in practice, I mean, there's a lot of similarities between the two. And the reason I bring this up, of course, is if you haven't done the loan for Makelele and you haven't used him, the easiest way for me to tell you how he plays in game is to compare him to a player that you've probably used or at least played against a lot. Now, in terms of his shooting, don't try. His shooting is not very good. 54 long shot, 61 shot power. I, of course, told him to get forward. It wasn't something that I specifically put on Makelele because I thought he'd be good at going forward. It's just an instruction that I have on my CMs naturally. Now, he scored that goal there. Is that, a sign of his goal-scoring prowess? Absolutely not. Just right place, right time. He was hanged back a little bit in the penalty area. What composure from Ian Wright, by the way. Yeah, he was hanging back a little bit inside the penalty area, and he was just right place, right time. It was an easy finish. It would have been harder to miss than it would have been to score. So don't read too much into any of the goals that he scores. He does make the odd run forward, and he does help by facilitating the strikers. Makelele made a very nice pass in toward Ian Wright then. Of course, there's still a lot of work to do, but Ian Wright is good enough to be able to put that away. He's everywhere. He has an engine on him, 94 stamina, but he is constantly all over the pitch. And that is one of the things that I really like about him. You can rely on him to be in the right place at the right time. He can put a really good challenge in. He's quick enough then to burst forward. He's got the passing ability. That is such a good goal as well. Tell you what, go watch that Ian Wright review. I love that guy. Yeah, he has that passing ability to get the move going as well. So many times that we're sort of sat here like this. My opponent can't get through. He's going backwards. He's going forwards. Makelele nicks the ball. Sometimes he won't get it to pass it out himself, and he'll nick it. And then we can burst forward. And as you can see here, we've got like a 4-on-4 situation going on right now. In fact, we've got more than a 4-on-4 situation going on. And Makelele's burst forward to help out as well. The pass that time, not quite in the direction I wanted it to be. But as you can see, he won the ball back. We moved forward as a collective. And he was part of that collective as well. And in the end, he had the decisive pass to make. And unfortunately, he didn't quite make it. But banging goal from the edge of the area there. I don't know how he managed to score it, but he did. I think it's something about the 37th minute that allows players to score goals like that. I don't know why. I score a lot of goals in the 37th minute. But either way, don't read too much into his finishing because it's not something you can rely on. He doesn't have great confidence on the ball. And what I mean by that is essentially it's just dribbling. When running with him, I didn't really feel too confident that he had the ability to take people on, which is fine. He shouldn't, right? But yeah, it's one of those, make a challenge, look up, play a pass, move on, use him as a one-touch pass master, if you will, and use him to break up the play. He does an awful lot for the team that you won't even notice. And that kind of brought me back to the comment that I made at the beginning. If you're a content creator, you can look back through your content and your clips and your recordings and you can see exactly how much he does. But in terms of just a casual play in the game, you might think that he's not doing anything, but honestly, he is everywhere. He makes so many challenges. He saved me so many times. This is a fantastic card. I have given him one of the highest ratings I could possibly give him because he's that good in his position. If you were to compare him to someone like Ronaldo or Messi, of course, you can't. They're different players. They do different jobs. So in terms of a CDM, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone as good as him. However, I am taking into consideration, of course, that team of the season is around the corner, and I haven't used the likes of Moments, Vieira and such. That's why he's not got 100, because I'm sure those cards would be better. But honestly, he's up there. Is he worth the coins? In my opinion, this is an end game card, and you won't regret doing it, that is for sure. Let me know what you think of the card in the comment section down below. If you have enjoyed this review, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until the next time, goodbye.